thinks every decision is a major decision.
So this is a major red flag and trigger warning for post-separation abuse. And what this creator is discussing, this mother is discussing, is a very common tactic in pretty much most relationships of coercive control, if not all of them. And by most, I mean 99.9. Treating every decision, especially if it's your decision, as a joint, mutual, large decision that has to be made. And this is where I like to talk about the self-imposed power of veto. In a abusive dynamic, okay, you will typically have someone who is the abuser who gives themselves an authority to be the power of veto, okay? Which means anything you want to do or don't want to do, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. Basically, they paint it as a joint decision or an important joint decision in order to remove your autonomy, your voice, and your right to the decision at all. But if you dare do the same, especially if it's your own personal decision, they will come in and they will just not allow it. An example of that, while my cat whines in the background to tell me that she is beautiful and she wants attention. An example of this in my personal experience, although not child related, but we have both children connected together as well as a business where both of our names are on it. And what he did was he basically has made it impossible for me to obtain a business debit card for the past year or two now, at least a year full, if not two. I have gone out of my way to follow every single rule, to apply based on policies to get these cards, and every single time he somehow gets a power of veto. And this is where the problem lies when you have joint decision making. Because in joint decision making, someone just gives themselves a power of veto, especially in an abusive dynamic like this. And to be clear, people like this are not joint anything. They are not joint owners. They are not joint partners. They are not co-parenters. They are nothing. They are dominating. And in this particular case, he is using that joint status, that co-parenting status, in order to weaponize the children to continue abusing the mother, even long after she's fled. And then, of course, you have the flying monkeys, the triangulation, etc., through the new wife who probably has no idea what she's contributing to and still falls for the he is a victim narrative. And this is not to shame the new wife. We've all obviously played that role because we were with those men before them. The problem is, though, the system is not designed for it. The problem is the system continues to enable it consistently, without hesitation, whether it is through the courtrooms, whether it is through the inability to identify systems or even put in place systems that recognize abusive dynamics, whether it is in banking, whether it is in business, whether it is in parenting, whether it is in the courtroom, whether it is in social developments or like CPS departments or social services. These are all different methods in which we should have systems implemented and protocols implemented to prevent further abuse. But we don't. We don't have those anywhere. And so what ends up happening is the self-proclaimed person who gives themselves a power of veto somehow gets to dominate everything while calling it joint decision-making. It literally continues to erode the autonomy of the person that they are controlling and abusing well beyond the realm of leaving them. This is what's interesting about the new bill that's being passed. Apparently I'm being coercively controlled right now into snuggling a very cute cat. But this is what's interesting about the bill, because even when they pass this bill, in the countries where they've already passed similar laws, criminalizing coercive control, the conviction, the arrest rate, everything is still very, very low because the onus is on the victim to create a miracle to meet the expectation of whatever system it is that has no method of identifying, recognizing, or holding accountable an abuser, rather than actually implementing systems that on paper recognize that this is coercive control and do something about it. And the fact is, you can retrain judges as much as you want, but until you actually start firing judges who continue to water down and gaslight themselves abuse in the courtrooms, we're going to continue to have this problem. And yeah, some judges don't deserve their job, don't deserve to be there. It's that simple. At the end of the day, what she's experiencing is post-separation abuse, post-separation coercive control. and what the children are experiencing is what I'm going to refer to as being weaponized as human shields. And I'm quoting a master of the court who used that exact term to describe what my ex is doing to our children. The system cannot change through the victims because the reason we are victims is you all keep finding ways to shut us up. So until we actively start implementing measures so that when we do criminalize coercive control, it can be actually charged, we're just doing a performance here. It's shown by the acquittal rates or the low conviction rates of SA or assault charges in DV contexts. An SA in any context, really. And because she wants to photobomb, I will let her. Anyway, good luck to you, because it's going to be a rough and long road. And until the system recognizes that these parents are not parenting, that they're weaponizing, and that joint custody is not a thing, there is no such thing as co-parenting with someone like this, and that they start behaving accordingly to actually protect the victims and the children, which are also victims, we're going to keep ending up here. Do you feel the discomfort yet?